In today's video, I'm going to talk about how does hypnotherapy and subconscious rewiring actually work. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Cappi Pidwell. I'm a master of NLP and hypnotherapy, and on this channel, I help really busy entrepreneurs, sales professionals, coaches, and anybody who has to self-generate their own income, increase their results, level up their own game to get more income and more outcomes. So if you're someone who's tried everything out there and you've listened to lots of great information and podcasts and videos and things like that, and yet you're still not at your own personal peak performance, I highly recommend you watch this video and some other videos because this might just be the biggest missing secret to your success. I say that a lot when I speak. I hear all this great information, and yet the subconscious is where all your behaviors are coming from. It's where all your thoughts and beliefs live. So let's tune into today's topic of how hypnotherapy and subconscious training actually gets you your outcomes. All right. So because we're so used to, the traditional way of getting our results and setting those goals and doing all the things, well-intentioned coaches and managers and leaders and, how many seminars and books and things are out there on, how to, right? There's tons of information. And I often say information doesn't often equal a person's transformation. So please understand that hypnotherapy and subconscious training with the methodologies I use doesn't change you because you're certainly not broken. It actually helps you remove the old beliefs and the things in your way from preventing you from having the things that you want. Because most people I talk to, they're not lacking discipline and they're not lacking desire and they're not sitting there going, "Oh, I just wish whatever." They're taking action typically. My clients and my audiences when I speak, they are, people who want to get there. There are people who are like, "Happy, I've done this. I've talked to this person." People always ask me, "Do you know this person? Do you know this person?" No, I don't know everybody. But I've been a master of NLP and hypnotherapy 30 years now. And that's all I teach is rewiring. My quote, if you've heard me before, don't just get inspired, get rewired because it gets you really great results. And how I got into hypnotherapy, I'll just tell you really quickly. I was in sales. That's why I love this arena. I was in sales. I was working really hard. I was super stressed out. And I used to grind my teeth at night and I would even dig my nails into my hands. Like I'd wake up with these. It would wake me up. It hurt so bad, but it was from stress. And so I got TMJ, I got lockjaw, and I couldn't open my mouth for 5 days. So I went to the doctor, I went to the dentist, I did all the traditional things, and then I went and tried hypnosis. This was 30 years ago, guys. My jaw popped open in 1 hour. And for those of you that have seen me speak or at events, I've told this story for 30 years because it was life changing for me. And I realized if it could work for that, what else could this work for? My mindset's pretty powerful. And when I listened to the little tape every night and my body listened as well, like it was a miracle. It went away. I didn't have to have surgery. I didn't go through all the stress and the trouble and all the traditional things. And I've used hypnotherapy and mindset training ever since then. I went to school for years. Again, I'm certified at the master level of hypnotherapy and neurolinguistic programming. I speak on it. I'm an expert at it. But again, getting back to you, understand, I was like you. I didn't know the first thing about it. I used to think of hypnotherapy or that like trickery or, on a stage, make you bark like a dog or, quack like a chicken or, the traditional things we've all seen. But once I experienced it, I was like, wow, people need to know about this because it saved me literally a surgery. It saved me a lot of money. It saved me a lot of time. I got the result so quickly. Now, does that apply to every other result? No. You got to work on this. You got to understand the mindset, right? So I want you to understand why talking about this alone doesn't create lasting change for you. Again, it's good information, but what is going to get you your personal transformation? And of course, there's lots of stuff out there today, and we're in the overwhelm information overload world these days, right? So that's good. I mean, I love it. I think everybody has their lane of genius, but mine is hypnotherapy and the subconscious rewiring to get people more success. why I created the channel, because most people are not aware of this. They're trying old, dated, or outdated information that's not getting them the transformation or the money in the bank or the house or the car or the boat or the marriage or whatever it is they're, wanting to create in their life. So why talking alone doesn't create lasting change is because, again, it's only working in that conscious level of mind, which I say in all my videos is only 5 to 10% of your awareness. So if you're in the conscious mind, which is such a little part, we really want to dive deeper into the subconscious mind. And that's why the outcomes are so fast, because it's 95% of you. Understand that your subconscious, it's kind of like, um, if you look at a circle and 5 to 10% of that is pied out, that's logic, right? And the other 95% is your habits. It is your emotions, your emotional warehouse, right? It is your money patterns live in your subconscious. It is your selfie, your self image. Again, I talked about it in another video. Go watch that video about your inner image. It is so powerful. And how do you change that? And again, just understand that the subconscious, because that's how you were wired, from 0 to 3 years old, you guys, 50% of your subconscious beliefs were installed by the time you were 3. So think about it. You're a baby, you come out into the world, you are a clean, open slate of consciousness, right? You're not wondering, what your mom's going to put on you or how you're going to be clothed, or, you're completely vulnerable to the people around you who care for you. So if they believe in lack, if they're stressed, or if they're happy, or whatever the energy and frequency of their beliefs is, exactly, you're like a little sponge. You're going to absorb that energy. You're going to associate that to love, to money, to life, to whatever. And then you end up having those beliefs to begin within you to grow. And then you hit from 3 to 8, it's another 30%. So basically, by the time we're 8 years old, 80% of your subconscious is programmed. And I mean, that's just amazing. Most of you are older than 8 watching this video, right? So then from 8 to 18 years old, it's only 15 more percent. So here you are, right? Here you are with a warehouse of subconscious stuff. Some of it really serves you. Some of it's beautiful. Some of it helps you. Some of it serves you. A lot of it doesn't, right? So if you have a habit, a habit that you don't want, an unwanted habit, and you can't get rid of the habit, that's because that 95% of you is like, it's almost like playing that tape in the background of your mind all the time, right? So, how hypnotherapy works is through relaxation. You close your eyes, you start to drift off. That's why so many books and things that teach subconscious training have you do it before bed, because then you start drifting into the alpha state. Then you start drifting into theta, and then of course delta is asleep. But when we're fully awake in the beta state, like we are right now, we're conscious, we're logical, our mind's on overwhelm, we're thinking about all the things, right? You go to bed and you're still thinking. Some people have to turn on TV and, do a bunch of stuff to go to sleep. But side note, be careful what you're listening to when you go to sleep, because that stuff is going directly into the subconscious. Okay. So again, if you want to get change in your life, the hypnotherapy part of it is through relaxation, going into that delta state. And as a master hypnotherapist, I'm basically, in the sessions and things that I have, I'm giving you the new suggestions, emotions, and energies that you consciously want, but you're in a battle, like your conflict. The 5 to 10% wants it, the other 90% isn't wired for that. So my job is to put almost like a new app, if you will, in a sense, of energy, new suggestions that feel really good for you. There's no resistance, because it's just allowing the subconscious mind to feel comfortable having, let's say, more money, allowing you to be more prosperous. How do you release poverty and go to prosperity? It really is through the power of the words I use in the hypnotherapy. That's why neurolinguistic programming is so important. I do everything in my sessions and in my programs online focusing forward for a person. So I'm not going to state any negative suggestions or anything that doesn't align with the thing you want. And here's the key with the subconscious. You won't accept a suggestion if it's not in alignment with your value. But if you want to make more money and you struggle and you're in lack, or if you want to create more success, or if you want to get your goals, I don't care what they are. The mind is the mind. I'm kind of the geek squad for the mind, right? So if you know how to rewire it, then the outcomes eventually follow. Is it immediate? Like mine was with my TMJ? It was. Sometimes it's immediate for people that wanna stop, a bad habit or what have you. I don't do that anymore. I used to, but I don't do that. Today, I only focus on, my small groups and my one-on-ones for business and success, but anyway, you can accomplish anything through this. So, it's just understanding that you're not gonna get change even by just understanding what I'm saying. Your life changes by rewiring your subconscious mind. So I use different methodologies to do that. I use neurolinguistic programming, I use hypnotherapy. It's through relaxation, drifting into the delta state of mind, and then uploading you or downloading you with new data so that when you awaken, you have this new little nugget inside, this new feeling, this new energy, if you will. People often tell me, "Gosh, Cappi, I don't know what you did. It's like you cleaned out my brain with a wipey, with a cleaning thing." Now, I make products because that repetition is very important, guys. You can't just do this once and be like, poof, now I think like, oh, a rich person, because your programming from that little age to wherever you are today has been there for years. So even if it takes you 3 months, 6 months, oftentimes through repetition, I have clients that get miracles and coincidences in a week. I don't know what's going to happen for you, but I do know the mindset is a very rich, enriched, innate powerhouse that does beat your heart, that blinks your eyes, that flows and animates your whole physical form, that grows your body. It's just so remarkable. And it kind of blows me away that people go, "Does it really work?" And it's like, I said earlier, I have to undo more than I have to do for people because the limitations we have are so thick. I mean, I used to have a lot of them myself. So until I learned this work, I was like, man, we are so limitless if we know how to rewire ourselves, but it's all that lack and limitation that gets in the way. So, does it work? It a million times works if you know how to work it. If you don't do anything, when I speak at these events and people, "Oh, Cappy, I loved it. I believe it." Da 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 da. I even give them handouts. I give them free things. Actually, if you want a free PDF, go to my website, cappypidwell.com. Get my 5 daily mindset tips. Print it out, download it, put it next to your bed, and read it every morning. Go on here on my YouTube channel and watch some of my subconscious sessions. I have them, they're free. Just go check stuff out. But if you don't do the work, I promise your mind is running you on autopilot. I promise. So again, you get into a relaxed state of mind. You could even just put on some soft music if you want, similar to meditation or daydreaming. But how hypnotherapy is different is I'm giving you specific suggestions for a specific outcome. So understand that it's the same state of mind, but meditation, and you're very aware. You're in full control at all times, just like you are when you're meditating. But we bypass that 5 to 10% of the mind, and then you're like more absorbent, if you will, to new good energy. Think of like a plant getting watered, right? It just sits there and it's like, I need water. And we pour water on and it starts to flourish. That's how I feel with putting new suggestions into somebody. They just start to feel better. Their behavior follows. They sleep better. Their reactions are more comfortable. Their confidence grows. Their clarity, their focus, their momentum. I mean, so much begins to flourish and flow and grow for you. And that's the goal, right? So it's not about giving up control and having somebody control your mind. I laugh sometimes and tell people, I don't want control of your mind. Trust me, I've had to manage my own mind. So it's nothing to do with stage and, showy hypnosis. Hypnotherapy is such a deep state of comfort and calmness and relaxation and love and bliss and beauty and blessings. And I just love to download people with all that greatness because it's so enriching. I mean, you just wake up and feel phenomenal. It's like, why wouldn't you want to feel better every single day by simply going into your mind. You don't have to take a pill. The side effects are great sleep, more confidence, more comfort, more money, more joy, more bliss, more miracles aligning with you. Remember, what you put out, you get back. You're like a boomerang to the universe, right? So it's not about giving up anything. It's about learning how to go to that level of consciousness that you already go to every single day and night. It's nowhere you don't go, but why not put great data in there that will rewire you to begin to believe when you awaken that things are so much easier for you, right? That's all hypnotherapy and subconscious training because I do use different methodologies to get the client the outcome. Okay. So just remember your critical logical mind is on overdrive. It has lots of limiting filters. And when you begin to relax, the subconscious becomes very open to new input. Again, think of a hungry plant. New beliefs can be installed in there, and you can water yourself, and old emotions can be released. Now, please understand this is a process. It's why I went to school. It's why I know. It's why I've been doing it for 30 years and I've helped thousands of people because it is a process. There's steps to it. And, I'll say a lot of times people go, "Oh, Cappi, I went, listen to this thing and I heard this thing," but that's great. The question is, did you get the change you want? All my systems, I call it a dual dynamic. They address the logical mind, and then we dive into the subconscious. And we go back to the logical mind, and we go back into the subconscious. You really want to match and marry those things and not have a bunch of resistance. And hopefully, you're listening to affirmations and hopefully you believe it, but you're putting it on top of a bunch of limiting beliefs. Like, it's fascinating to me. But anyway, new beliefs can be installed, and old emotions can absolutely be released. So, when I work with people, it really is about releasing, getting rid of a lot of that old stuff, as I mentioned. But if you don't know what's there, it's kind of hard to get rid of it, right? So, if you're somebody who is serious about creating real internal change in your life, in your business, and your income and outcomes, I do work with people personally in two different ways. I have a small group that you can go into the notes here and click on the link to book a call with me and we'll see if we're a fit. I don't take everybody, and not everybody's for me, and I'm not for everybody. So, again, this is not traditional coaching. I do make the subconscious sessions. You get the MP3s, you listen to them. I have you do a lot of logical work and conscious work to identify those limitations and blocks. And then we start to bust those things up. So, I have a small group for that. That's 8 weeks. And again, click on the link, book a call. I'll fill you in the details. And then the other way I work with people is a one on one. This is a high end coaching program. It's 90 days one on one with me every single week. I'm making you your personal products. I'm looking at all your business strategies. I'm helping you realign what's going to work in your life and monetize you. And again, that's a high end, qualifying only call. So if you're interested, same thing, just click on the calendar. You have to fill out a questionnaire. And then we'll book a meeting on Zoom and see if you're a great fit. So I appreciate your time. And I often tell people, it's not like you don't got to convince yourself. I don't need to convince anybody of anything. I always say if it resonates and something feels good for you and you've been seeking and searching for a solution, definitely book a call with me because a lot of times, just in that conversation, I can really help you identify some of those things. But again, only if you're serious about joining my either one on one or my 8 week group program. So if you got value from this video, I would really appreciate it and I'd love it if you like my video. Ask me a question, make a comment. It really helps the algorithms and I'm growing my channel right now, so I would appreciate that support. Or feel free to share it with a friend or again, the comments are great. Thumbs up, hit the bell, all that great stuff you know how to do here on YouTube. But again, I want to thank you so much for your time. I always leave and say, don't just get inspired, get rewired if you want real results. So thanks so much, and I'll see you soon.